is 9 News with Mark Burrows.
Good morning. We begin with a desperate search for a non-verbal 12-year-old boy missing in Sydney's west. Hussein Al Massuri was last seen on Saturday night. For the latest on the search, let's go live to Alex Heinke in Auburn. Alex, have there been any sightings?
Yeah, good morning, Mark. Well, there have been a number of unconfirmed sightings, which is really making it tough for families over the last 12 hours here in Auburn. But just to bring you up to speed, the search continued overnight and then really launched again this morning. A small army hitting the streets here of Auburn. They are searching parks, they're searching streets, they're searching backyards, they are searching high and low for any sign of this young 12-year-old boy, Hussein. Just by way of background, it was lunchtime on Saturday around 12 o'clock when he ran away from his family at a park nearby from where I am right now at Macquarie Park. And then some 9 hours later, Mark, he was spotted at a local train station. Police have confirmed this morning after reviewing CCTV that he did not jump on a train, and they believe that he is somewhere here in this Auburn area. Now, we've also had an update from police that if you do spot him, to not approach him. Because of some disabilities he has, that he has a tendency to run away if people approach him. So we just had an update. Take a listen.
If anyone does see him, if you could please keep him in sight and contact 000. Don't directly approach him because he is prone to run off, but if you could keep him in sight and contact us urgently.
So a developing story, Mark, and we'll of course keep you updated right here on Channel 9.
Alex Heinke, thank you. Well, it was a dangerous run into work for hundreds of Sydney drivers today after a truck caught fire on the Anzac Bridge. Fire and emergency services responded, blocking all city-bound lanes while the blaze was extinguished. It was a very lucky escape for the driver, who had no idea his tabletop was going up in flames until a motorist travelling behind him raised the alarm. Well, controversy surrounds the first official photo released by the Princess of Wales since her surgery. Multiple international press agencies have issued a kill order claiming the images have been manipulated. Europe correspondent Brett McLeod reports.
This is the photo that was meant to stop speculation about the Princess of Wales, but has instead only fuelled it. Released to coincide with Mother's Day in Britain, it shows a beaming Kate surrounded by her 3 children. Kensington Palace said the photo was taken by Prince William last week at Windsor. There had been increasing speculation about her health after she went into hospital for abdominal surgery in mid-January, with no official images of her since then. Accompanying this picture, a message from the Princess said, "Thank you for your kind wishes and continued support over the last 2 months." But it wasn't long before internet detectives started questioning whether the image had been photoshopped. Princess Charlotte's left hand, for example, looking somewhat out of alignment. Then the world's biggest picture agencies issued a kill notice to clients. Associated Press saying the image had to be taken down because it appears that the source has manipulated it. The source was Kensington Palace, which is yet to comment. What was meant to be a good news story, now looking more of a royal mess.
Well, thousands braved scorching conditions over the weekend to attend Melbourne's Mumba Festival. The March heat wave has forced the cancellation of today's parade. Reid Butler is at the festival site. Reid, it's the first time the parade has been cancelled in the event's history.
Yeah, that's right, Mark. It is amazing to think that for the first time in 70 years, Melbourne will not have a Mumba parade. It is a huge free community family festival. The centrepiece of that festival over the long weekend here in Victoria is supposed to be the parade. I think we've got some vision of last year's to give you an idea of the spectacle of it all, but not this time round. It has been cancelled. This historic cancellation, the result of extreme heat. It is expected to get to the high 30s today, and already right now it's around 30 degrees and it is extremely hot here at the festival. Still though, crowds are coming in here, not as many as you would expect in normal conditions, but still a couple of thousand so far, you would imagine. The Mumba Monarchs, they are the stars of the festival every year. This year it is Emma Memma from The Wiggles and Peter Hellier, the comedian. They were supposed to be front and centre at the parade. This year though, they were on the float, but it was stationary. They did a little dance for those who had gathered there and did their best to try and bring the mood up despite the cancellation of that parade. Everyone though agreeing that it was for the best.
We're already at 30 degrees. I know that we've made the right call. Speaking to some of the families here, they've been really appreciative that we've prioritised health and well-being and safety.
We're probably two of the fairest skinned Mumba monarchs over the years, so I'm not sure if that played a part in the end.
Shady tables are the hottest seats in town right now. The firework display, though, later in the day, it will still be going ahead despite some concerns over fire risk, but safety consultants have told the council that it is okay to run that fireworks display. So still the Mumba Festival should end on a high note, we hope, Mark.
OK, Reid. Thank you. Well, a 23-year-old man has died after a suspected drug overdose at one of Victoria's biggest music events. The Pitch Music and Arts Festival had to be cancelled due to dangerous heatwave conditions and extreme fire danger yesterday afternoon. Organisers have faced scrutiny for not cancelling the 5-day event earlier, starting a scramble for thousands of revellers to evacuate today. Well, a range of everyday household goods could get cheaper as the government removes taxes on hundreds of imports. Federal political reporter Amanda Kopp joins us live. Amanda, what's getting cheaper?
Well, Mark, we could see cheaper prices on things like washing machines and dryers, toasters, electric blankets, clothing and sanitary products. Now, a lot of these things get taxed at the border because Australia imports so much from overseas. But businesses have to spend a lot of time and money navigating all the different rules and regulations, and that makes things more expensive. So the Treasurer is getting rid of 500 of what he's calling nuisance tariffs. He says a lot of these import taxes don't actually raise much money for the government anyway. One example he gave at a speech in Sydney this morning was toothbrushes. Over 2 years, Australia imported around $80 million worth of toothbrushes, but only raked in about $22,000 in taxes. And because of that, critics are questioning whether scrapping these taxes will actually impact prices. The Treasurer says it will help small businesses and with cost of living.
There are hundreds of these tariffs on mushrooms and chopsticks and hand saws and kitchen knives and sleeping bags, puzzles and paintbrushes, ballpoint pens and crayons. The list goes on. Nuisance tariffs strangle productivity and weigh business down in red tape with very little return.
If this is their way of slashing red tape for businesses out there, it's not even going to be close enough.
What's been announced is just the beginning, Mark, and the Treasurer says there will be more in the upcoming budget in May.
Amanda, thank you. Well, a senior federal cabinet minister is under fire over a hefty hire car bill at the expense of taxpayers. According to documents obtained by News Corp, Assistant Treasurer Stephen Jones spent $43,000 on trips between his Shell Harbour home and Parliament House in 2022. While it is in accordance with the rules, MPs have questioned the spend amid a cost of living crisis.
I mean, if it's good enough for the rest of us to drive ourselves, why isn't it good enough for Stephen Jones to do that?
The bill was approved by the Department of Finance. Well, horrifying footage has emerged of the moment a man attacks a light rail worker in Southport on the Gold Coast. The man appears to take aim at a member of staff before a colleague tries to intervene. One man punched in the head multiple times. It's unclear what sparked the altercation. Charges are yet to be laid. Well, a US military ship is now on its way to the Middle East, carrying equipment which will be used to build a temporary pier off the coast of Gaza. It comes less than 36 hours after the US President announced the plan, designed to assist the delivery of aid into the enclave as the UN warns famine is almost inevitable. The death toll in Gaza has surpassed 31,000, according to the Health Ministry, with at least 25 people dying of starvation. The Jewish protesters have demonstrated outside the opening of a Holocaust museum in Amsterdam. It's not the content of the museum they're upset about, it's the presence of Israeli President Isaac Herzog at the opening ceremony. The protesters, made up of both Israeli and Palestinian supporters, demanding a ceasefire in Gaza. A midnight operation to evacuate US embassy staff has been carried out in Haiti as heavily armed troops attempt to take over the capital, Port-au-Prince. Gang violence has been escalating rapidly since the end of last month as rebels storm the city, trying to overthrow the sitting government. Well, the red carpet's been rolled out and the biggest blockbusters are battling it out for the top gong. Up next, reporter Jonathan Kersley has everything you need to know live from the Oscars. Plus, a large-scale search at a popular Sydney beach grows more desperate as a swimmer remains missing. And a strip of Brisbane shops targeted by arsonists for the second time as a business is left gutted. Well, Jimmy Kimmel has kicked off the 96th annual Oscar Awards in Hollywood. Our Los Angeles reporter Jonathan Kersley is live for us from Hollywood. Jono, you have news on a big win.
Oh, absolutely exciting stuff for Oppenheimer fans, exciting stuff for Robert Downey Jr. fans. He has taken away the Best Supporting Actor Oscar just moments ago for his role in the hit film Oppenheimer. It is Oppenheimer's first Oscar win of the night. It had been nominated 13 times, missed out on some earlier awards that had gone to Poor Things, had been doing exceptionally well, winning 3 out of the 4 awards it had been nominated for. There are still plenty to go, and it's been an interesting show so far. Jimmy Kimmel opening it with a monologue. We've heard from Billie Eilish, who performed that song from Barbie, and we've also seen a few laughs or so from former wrestler John Cena turned actor, who appeared to be not wearing very much at all when he walked out onto stage, and a few laughs shared too between some of the stars of the movie. The monologue, as I mentioned, from Jimmy Kimmel, he said he was inspired by Barbie to come and host this award show for a 4th time, and in his monologue he certainly touched on the film and Australia's Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling are here tonight. Look, kids, it's Barbie and Ken sitting just near each other. Ryan and Margot, I want you to know that even if neither one of you wins an Oscar tonight, you both already won something much more important, the genetic lottery.
So some humour shared there, and there's been plenty of laughs. Also been some emotional moments this evening too, particularly from the first award of the evening, the Best Supporting Actress that went to Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. This is what she had to say in front of the packed house at the Dolby Theatre.
For so long, I've always wanted to be different. And now I realize I just need to be myself. And I thank you. I thank you for seeing me.
Plenty of awards, Mark, still up for grabs tonight, including the big ones, Best Actress, Best Actor, and obviously Best Picture. Oppenheimer still very much a front runner to have an exceptionally well-off evening tonight, perhaps scooping as many as 8 Oscars on what could be an historic evening for them. The arrivals, the fashion stakes were certainly exceptionally high, and this year an interesting theme to note that it has been the style, class and elegance of a simple black and white that has appeared to dominate the red carpet tonight. We saw Margot Robbie arriving in a very simple and elegant black gown. Also arriving too were stars including Jamie Lee Curtis, Jennifer Lawrence, a previous Oscar winner, in a gown, black gown studded with white dots all over it. There's been a little bit of dazzle and razzle, a little bit of colour as well. And from the Barbie stars, everything has been pretty in pink too. So it really has been an award show that has plenty to offer so far. Now we wait to see exactly how the rest of Hollywood's biggest night of entertainment pans out. Mark.
Jonathan Kersley, live from Hollywood. Thank you. Well, the search for a swimmer missing at Bronte Beach in Sydney's eastern suburbs has resumed this morning. The man was last seen in the water just before 8 p.m. yesterday when he became caught in a rip and failed to resurface. Let's cross live to Sophie Upcroft, who's at Bronte for us. Sophie, what's the latest?
Well, Mark, that operation is continuing as we go to air. There are boats and jet skis that are searching off Bronte Beach here. The Westpac Rescue helicopter is searching from the air, focusing on the stretch of coastline between Bondi and Coogee. Police and lifeguards are working together to look for a missing swimmer, a young man aged in his 20s. He was last seen at around 7:45 last night. He went for a swim with his friend near the ocean pool when he got caught in a rip. His friend managed to make it to shore and raise the alarm, but he was swept away. Lifeguards had finished and gone home for the day, but he was able to find a number of surf club members who were off duty, as well as a couple of brave young nippers who scrambled to help.
Well, we all ran down, got the boards out of the surf club and ran down to try to get him.
Someone came up to me saying my friend's out near the rip and everything, so I ran in to tell my dad. I felt like I needed to do what's best to try, look and help find them.
The beach is closed today due to rough conditions, which is making the search more difficult. But Mark, crews will continue to search throughout the day or until that young man is found.
All right, Sophie, thank you. A Brisbane tobacconist shop has been gutted by a fire after what firefighters have described as an obvious break and enter. Mia Glover has more.
Well, store owners here on the Elizabeth Street shops in Acacia Ridge say they're frustrated. They've again been targeted by arsonists. This time it was the tobacconist here behind me that was struck at around 1:45 earlier this morning. Fire investigators say they rushed to the scene and found the property well alight, flames erupting from the front of the business, and they claim that there was a deliberate break and enter attack on this property.
It appeared to be obvious signs of break and enter. The guys quickly made entry, got to work, dampened down the fire.
This isn't the first time this strip of shops on Elizabeth Street has been targeted. It was October late last year when an arsonist armed with a jerry can poured that petrol all over a cafe here on the strip of shops and set it alight, and it damaged several businesses surrounding that cafe. They say they're angry it's happened yet again.
Very bad news, like people, business, they working hard.
People, just trying to do a living and, owning businesses and stuff, and then you get the little criminals, sorry to say, but yeah, doing what they do.
Investigators are likely to remain here for some time. It has been declared a crime scene and police are urging anyone with information or any footage to come forward.
Well, coming up, armed police rush to Buckingham Palace as a car crashes into the front gates. And in sport, a monumental day for the NRL with Spencer Leniu to face the judiciary for a racist slur. And why did this herd of goats cross the road? Turns out they're on a potentially life-saving mission. That story next. A man who crashed into the front gates of Buckingham Palace has been arrested and sectioned for mental health concerns. He allegedly drove a car into the gate at 2:30 a.m. London time. No members of the royal family were at the residence when the crash happened. Sports news now, and Roosters prop Spencer Leniu has his hearing at the NRL judiciary tonight, staring down a lengthy suspension for a racist slur. Leniu has already pleaded guilty to the charge, apologising to Broncos playmaker Ezra Mam. But the judiciary will hear the details of the incident all over again as it determines an appropriate punishment for the 23-year-old. Well, to AFL, and Carlton is expecting a crowd of more than 90,000 people at the MCG for Thursday night's clash against Richmond. The Blues inspecting the turf this morning, calling on fans to rock the G after starting their season away in Brisbane.
We think we'll have a 9 in front, and we think we'll have a 9 in front of our membership by then too. We think we'll have 90,000 members, and we think we'll get over 90,000 people turn up.
The Blues also confirming they won't rush veteran Sam Docherty in for surgery following their third ACL injury of his career. Well, it's been a lively start to day 4 of the second test against the Black Caps, with Mitch Marsh given an early life on 28, dropped by Rawan Rashinda. Travis Head wasn't so lucky, departing on the very next ball, bringing Alex Carey to the crease. Half centuries from Marsh and Carey have kept Australia in the contest, with runs flowing freely. At lunch, the Aussies trailed by 105 runs. And hundreds of goats have been sent into the hills of San Diego with a mission: eat as much as you want. The local gas and electricity company deployed the animals to help in their wildlife mitigation program. It's hoped the goats can reduce the amount of shrubbery and form natural fire breaks through their feasting. Stay with us. Your weather details are next. Let's take a look at what the weather's doing across the country, and in a word, it's hot. A top of 29 in Brisbane and Sydney, 30 in Canberra. The heat wave biting in Melbourne and Adelaide, tops of 37 and 38. A little bit milder in Hobart, 24 with a chance of a shower. The sunny 31 in Perth, showers and 31 in Darwin. High humidity in Brisbane with showers and 30 degrees. Sunny in Sydney, 31. Hotter in Canberra, 33. Cooling down in Melbourne, the temp dropping to 24. 20 in Hobart. Still warm in Adelaide, 33. A bit grey in Perth and 30. The same top in Darwin. And that is Nine's Morning News. We'll be back at 4 p.m. with your afternoon news. 5 p.m. in Perth. I'm Mark Burrows. Thanks for your company. See you soon.